On the week the campaign of 2010 officially got underway, with former House Speaker Jim Amon kicking off his campaign for governor, we talked to the man who, well, used to be the Democratic frontrunner in every pre-campaign poll dating back to 1994. We are, of course, talking about Attorney General Richard Blumenthal. Mr. Blumenthal, nice to see you back here again.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
How does it feel, first of all, to be the state's most popular Democrat? These new polls show out. Your approval rating is extremely high.
The approval rating, 79%, is certainly very gratifying, but, you know, every poll is a snapshot, as they say. And the most important poll I take is the one I do at the end of the day, where I ask myself whether I've helped enough people, what I've done to improve their lives. And I'm going to keep fighting for the people of the state and keep working for them.
There are some Democrats who are disappointed you're not running for governor. What led to the final decision to not run?
You know, as I have told you, Dennis, on this very show, in this very place, I made this decision as to what I thought was best in terms of my serving the people of the state, and also best for my family, my wife, my 4 children. And I love my job. In case you hadn't noticed, I love fighting for the people of the state against consumer fraud, environmental harm, child abuse and neglect, financial wrongdoing, waste and mismanagement. And I look forward to collaborating with this new administration in Washington. I think there are going to be enormous opportunities in enabling economic recovery and reforming the financial system.
Is it as simple as just saying, I really didn't want to be governor?
I don't know that I would in any way diminish or belittle the office of governor. It's a huge challenge and opportunity, but I really felt this job was the one where I could accomplish the most for the people of the state, and I'm hopeful there'll be other opportunities in the future.
Do you think you could have beaten Governor Rell had you run?
You know, I'm not going to speculate on whether Governor Rell will run, whether I could have beaten her, whether other candidates can or not. My focus really is on asking the people of Connecticut to renew my contract, because I will be seeking re-election as Attorney General of the state, and I never take anything for granted, 79% polls notwithstanding.
As soon as you announced that you were not running for governor, Jim Amon went out and said, I welcome the Blumenthal supporters to come my way. Do you support Jim Amon in his run for governor?
I have not supported or endorsed any of the other Democratic candidates. I look forward to supporting the Democratic nominee.
As you know, this new Quinnipiac University poll also puts you in a potential matchup against Senator Joe Lieberman in 2012, and it shows you beating him handily. Is it your plan right now to run for that seat?
My plan right now is to run for re-election. That's my sole focus, and serving as the best Attorney General I can be. I have always hoped, as a lifelong public service interest, that maybe one day I'd have the opportunity to serve in the United States Senate, but I'm not ruling anything out or in at this point.
So if Jim Himes or Chris Murphy came up to you and said, hey, Dick, would you mind just saying that I don't want to run for Senate so that I can run for it? Would you encourage them to do that?
I wouldn't rule out the possibility or the opportunity of running for the Senate. I think there are enormous challenges in the job I have now. I am working very hard and focused solely right now on this job, but I certainly wouldn't rule out any opportunities in the future.
You've been friends with Joe Lieberman for a long time. Would it be uncomfortable to challenge him?
Joe Lieberman has a record, which I respect, and I hope he respects mine. And what he will do, he hasn't said as yet in 2012. So 4 years is a long time, as they say, a lifetime in politics. I think both of us will make decisions about what we think is the right thing to do.
The new poll also showed that Senator Lieberman's popularity, while still low, is creeping back upward. In fact, he's now more popular than Senator Dodd. There are a lot of Democrats whispering, saying, you know, it'd be nice if Dick Blumenthal could run for Senator Dodd's seat instead. If the senator decides not to seek re-election, would you run for that?
My assumption, and I really believe that he will, is that he'll be the candidate, he'll win, he'll run, and I have no present plans to run for the United States Senate in 2010. If there should be, very unexpectedly, an opening, I certainly would be interested, but I'm going to support Chris Dodd.
You're an astute politician, you've won several elections. How did he get himself into this mess?
You know, he actually has apologized for not disclosing earlier what he did with respect to those mortgages. Now, I've sued Countrywide. I took Countrywide to court to get money back for people that Countrywide misled and deceived. That corporation has a lot of answering to do. And I believe that Chris Dodd may regret having waited to disclose some of those facts, but there's no evidence of wrongdoing on his part any more than victims who were misled or deceived by Countrywide.
If Countrywide said, all right, Mr. Blumenthal, we're going to let you see the documents, but you can't make copies of them and you only have a short amount of time like the reporters were given with Senator Dodd's mortgages, would that be acceptable?
Well, we subpoena documents. We don't voluntarily necessarily accept the representations that are made to us from companies like Countrywide. But Chris Dodd has disclosed those documents, has disclosed the facts, and I believe, bottom line, the people of Connecticut will accept his explanation and will reelect him in 2010.
But this new poll shows that I think it was 42% more do not trust him than do. And many people want to see those papers. They're not satisfied with the answers. And if this gentleman who worked for Countrywide comes out and, you know, if it's determined that he's telling the truth and that Senator Dodd did know he was getting preferential treatment, well, then how does that look?
Again, you know, we can speculate on a variety of potential circumstances that could arise in the future. What we know now is that he has shown the documents to whomever wanted to attend that press conference, and if there are other documents, and if the Ethics Committee of the Senate discloses those documents, or if he does, then we can draw conclusions based on those facts.
If this Ethics Committee comes out and determines that Senator Dodd did commit some wrongdoing along the way or something unethical, would you challenge him in a primary?
I have no plans to challenge Chris Dodd in a primary. I have no reason to think that there's anything that we will find from the Ethics Committee that will conflict with what he said so far, and there's no evidence of wrongdoing. And again, he apologized. I think he may well regret not having disclosed those documents sooner, because it would have taken a lot of the mystery and the questions.
If you were his political advisor, would you tell him to do that?
Well, he has better political advisors than I, and
some might argue with considering the poll numbers.
But you know, I'm doing my job. I'm focused on the challenges and opportunities that I have. We're taking Countrywide again to sanction them for their breach of security. We're trying to do something about gender bias in our insurance programs by prohibiting it. And of course, internet safety, the challenges of social networking and predators and pornography on the internet, initiatives just within the past week. So I have plenty to do.
You know, the Senate seats have been held since the 1980s by the same two men. You ever secretly wish to yourself, I wish they were like term limits? I mean, you've said you want to be a senator at one point, and these opportunities just aren't coming up.
You know, the longer I live, the more important I think basic things like my kids are healthy, everybody's fine, I love what I do, how could I wish for more? And if I wished for more, the old saying is, be careful what you wish for. We have two senators, and they've served Connecticut, and I enjoy the job I have right now, and I'm going to be asking the people of Connecticut to renew my contract in 2010.
Good enough. Attorney General Richard Blumenthal, nice to see you again. Thanks for being with us.